All right, the Houston Texans are not strangers to being a smart football team and a well-run organization in the last year. They've really turned things around. And so when we see different things that come out, certain things I have, and I feel like there's a lot of credit to. Other things, there's actually numbers that back it up and actually have credit. And then there's the third where it's just like, what does that list even mean? Like, what are they even talking about? It's just some either senior or junior writer that is throwing out an article, pretending he knows about every team. And PFF recently came out ranking the top 25 players under 25 entering the 2024 season. And this is why you see the title that the Houston Texans just outsmarted the entire NFL. This is what every team wants. They want great talent at less money. They want great talent at young age. The NFL is a shockingly physical sport. Injuries take a toll on your body. Careers at some points, like the quarterback, have never been longer, but at other times have never been shorter, like the running back. So when you have a young player, what you're telling yourself, what you're showing in that is that not only do you have a player who's usually cheaper, but you also have a player who is ready to play for you for the next 5, 10, even 15 years, like a guy like CJ Stroud. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this article producing this, and I can show it to you even though it's PFF because it is one of the free ones. So you could go out here and read it yourself. So in this, I'm going to talk to you. The Texans have the second most players on this behind the Detroit Lions. And if you know us, we are Lions fans, but we started this channel because we love teams that the national media ignores. And so we started covering the Texans about a year ago, thinking they had a bright future ahead of them. And man, did that happen quickly. So it has been a blast watching these Texans with all of you this past year. So let's just kind of go through. Number one is Penei Sewell of the Lions. Understandable. Very important position at tackle. Some would say the second most important position on a football team. And then you have Sauce Gardner. Interesting enough, Sauce is number 2. I think Stingley was just as good, if not better, than Sauce last year. Does Stingley make this list? We're going to find out. Number 3, Trevor Lawrence. And this is where you can start saying to yourself, why is Trevor Lawrence there ahead of CJ Stroud? And guess what? I'm going to say the same thing. Because Trevor Lawrence had a PFF grade that was just above CJ Stroud's. But Trevor Lawrence has played 3 seasons now in the league. So we're not going to go ahead and talk about that. Sorry, I thought somebody was trying to open that door. That's no good. All right. Number 4, we have Jamar Chase, Kyle Hamilton, and Aiden Hutchinson. Any surprises yet? Yeah, it's no Stroud. Here he is. CJ Stroud, number 7. It says CJ Stroud burst onto the scene as a rookie in 2023 as one of the most promising quarterbacks in the NFL. Out of 95 rookie quarterbacks who have played at least 100 snaps in their first season since 2006, Stroud's 83.1 PFF overall grade ranks 4th. 4th best rookie season ever. We all know he actually had the best rookie season ever. 4,100 yards passing, ranked 8th, and he led the Texans into the playoffs. 59% of that total came before the catch, which ranked 3rd in the NFL. In other words, dude was awesome. He was straight slinging it. Now, here's the argument I'm going to make. Sure, he's number 7. I would have had him number 1. I would have had him over Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions. I would have had him over Penei Sewell of the Lions. I certainly would have had him over Trevor Lawrence. All right. By the way, I've done this pick. I know it's not real GMing, but 2 fantasy football leagues I'm in, I drafted Stroud in one, traded for Stroud in the other. Actually, I might have traded for Stroud in both early on in the season last year. And I just traded away Trevor Lawrence. So I had to choose between Stroud and Lawrence. I picked Stroud. PFF, I don't think there's a person at PFF that would say, yep, I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence as my quarterback than CJ Stroud. Yet somehow he's number 3 on this list. All right, let's see what the rest of the list is. Do you have more players? Yes, you do. All right, Brock Purdy, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, again, is on upside. I mean, he's not there yet. Trent McDuffie of the Chiefs. That's interesting to me. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions, Puka Nacua of the Rams, Patrick Surtain. I I like saying Surtain is Surtain. All right, and then you have the second Texan, Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr., it said his first NFL season was slowed down by an ankle injury. It did not stop him from earning Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. Anderson stood out not just among 2023 rookies, as his 16.7% pressure ranked first among all edge defenders over the past 4 years, including a guy that, by the way, is number 6 on this list, Aiden Hutchinson. It had a better rating than him when it came to pressure rate. That's awesome. All right, now, why is he 14 after winning Defensive Rookie of the Year? And the only thing I can say on this when I'm looking at these top players, if I'm not wrong, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, everybody, all right? The only 2 rookies that I see on this list in the top 14 were Houston Texans. So that shows me that they're even better. Sewell, not a rookie. Gardner, not a rookie. Lawrence, Chase, Hamilton, Hutch. Stroud is. Purdy is not. Wilson is not. McDuffie is not. St. Brown is not. Puka was. I was wrong. All right, and then Surtain is not. Will Anderson. So of the top 14, only 2 are coming off, or 3 are coming off their rookie year. 2 of them are Texans. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see C.J. Stroud next year as number 1 if he has another year like he had, and Will Anderson Jr. could be a top 5. You could have 2 in the top 5 after this year, and I'm going to make an argument for 3, but let's see who that third is. All right, you have offensive lineman Tyler Smith of the Cowboys. All right. Then you have Bijan Robinson of the Falcons. That makes some sense. Javon Holland of the Dolphins. Greg Rousseau of the Buffalo Bills. Sam Laporta of the Lions. Tyler Linderbaum, Baltimore Ravens. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions. Jalen Carter of the Eagles. And then finally, Derek Stingley. All right, Derek Stingley had a PFF grade of 92.1 last year, by the way, which is just crazy. All right, now that is a straight, actually 82.1, coverage grade of 85.3. All right, that is the 5th highest among all corners in 2023. The 5th highest among all corners. Yet there's multiple corners ahead of him on here. Well, I don't have a problem necessarily. I think he should be top 15 on this list. I don't necessarily have a horrible problem with him at 23. The issue is, why do you value so much higher Sauce Gardner and McDuffie? And you have other players at his position like that I don't necessarily think, or Javon Holland, like I don't even think necessarily I would take over him. Pat Surtain is a good corner. He's proven it for longer. I can understand that to an extent. The McDuffie thing, the Sauce Gardner thing being so much further ahead of him on this list, I don't get it. So while I think it's there, I don't understand it. And then the list rounds out with Chris Olave and Kyle Pitts. To me, Stingley had a better, it's a shorter span, but he showed that he has the ability to be the best of any of the corners in this. Him and Sauce are going to forever be compared. And I'm telling you right now, Stingley will end up being better than Sauce. He can do more. He's willing to roam the field. He can just be more flexible. And that's what I love about his game. So here's the deal. This is the reason I wanted to do this video. The setup for success, and by the way, the Texans are the only team that I saw, not the only team, but one of the only teams that I saw that not only had a player in the top 25 players under 25, but they also had a player in the top 30 over 30. All right. Your tackle, Laramie Tunsil, was also there. So you have players on both sides of the spectrum where you have good veteran players and exquisite, tremendously talented rookie players. So those are the kind of things just to look at that I thought were absolutely awesome to see, and excited for your team going forward. And you should too. Hey, hit that like button. More importantly, hit that subscribe button so you get our stuff, letting you know when we have videos coming out. It's not a perfect science, but it'll let you know on some of them. And we hope you're enjoying the channel. We want to be your go-to spot for Texans content throughout the offseason, into the season, and beyond. All right. I almost sounded like Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond. I have young kids. See ya.